Hey everybody, it's Brian here. It's been a while since I've done a live video, hasn't it? And the reason for today is I just got off of a Zoom webinar. Now, how many of you have been on a Zoom webinar or a Facebook? It doesn't matter what platform. How many of you have been on a webinar? Probably everybody who's watching this right now. Have you ever gone onto a webinar and just felt slimy from the minute you logged on, like I just did? Went on to a webinar, okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. If you get into a webinar, usually you'll go into some kind of a funnel sequence, right? So they'll start you with your title and all of these things, and hey, it sells you on joining the webinar. You've already been sold on that part, okay? Then you come into the webinar and the person gets all hypey. Oh my God. Ah! It's like, dude, calm down just a tad. You're talking to business people. You don't need to be the 2 o'clock in the morning uh, infomercial guy. I mean, Tony Robbins was that guy in the 80s. Leave it in the 80s, okay? And if you don't remember the 80s, trust me, that's how it was for the most part. Anyway, so don't start out with a bunch of hype. Don't start out freaking people out, trying to tell them about how cool this webinar is going to be and stuff. And, people, their time is valuable. When you're doing a webinar, when you're doing any video presentation type of thing, keep in mind the people can exit right now. I'm out, which I lasted for about 5 minutes before it was like, dude, you're not getting to the point. All you're doing is trying to hype the audience. Okay, if you need to hype yourself before going into a webinar, hype yourself before you go into the webinar. Get pumped, get yourself, but then dial it back a little bit, unless that is actually your personality. But dial it back because your audience, that's who you're actually trying to communicate with. You're trying to attract those people the way they need to be attracted, not the way you need to be attracted. It's always about the customer. Soapbox moment there for a second. But seriously, if you're doing a webinar, introduce yourself. Say, hey, I'm Brian. Thanks for joining me. I know we're all busy. I know you came here to get some information, learn about some stuff. Let's get into the stuff. By the way, if you don't know some of my background, here it is. Been doing this stuff since 1997, either building websites or SEO or pay-per-click, things like that. That's a little bit of my background. So what it's doing is telling you, yeah, I've been around this stuff for a long time. All right. So that's it. Now let's get into it. Hey, here's what you joined me for today. Today we're going to talk about how AI can help, make your business better, whatever. I don't know. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about literally about doing webinars. From there, get into it. And of course, sell from the stage. So at the very end of it, and you might even preface this at the beginning. Hey, at the end of this, I'm going to try to sell you something. Why would I be bringing you onto a webinar if I'm not trying to sell you something on the back end? Tell them up front. It's okay. If they leave, they leave. They weren't going to buy from you anyway. But seriously, get rid of the hype. Get rid of all of that. People see through it. People see through the fake over excitedness. Just be yourself. Get to the point of your presentation. Do the thing. Show your examples. Show a few, not a bunch. Show a few testimonials. We get it. You got a lot of people. Cool. Hey, here are my top 3 testimonials. Joe said this. Margaret said this. Daniel said this. Cool. If you want to see more, head over to the website. Got a bunch of them. Awesome. And then just go. Hey, by the way, if any of this hits you the right way or in a way that, inspires you, let's move forward. Let's schedule an appointment, do a one-on-one, whatever, so I can see if I can help you out. Done. There's your webinar. So, like I said, I felt slimy. I almost feel like I needed to take a shower. It was bad. It was over bad. What I'm actually going to do is go out for a walk in Texas before it starts getting too hot in Texas to go out for walks. But that is what I'm going to do. And I appreciate everybody joining me today. Um, but that's really it. You know, run your webinars right. Don't be so hypey. If I want to go be hypey, I'll go to a comedy thing. I don't know. I don't like hype personally, and I know most of my clients don't. So, running a webinar, go do it. They're important. They really do help revenue, but do it in a way that's natural. Do it in a way that doesn't freak people out. That's it for me from me for today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon.